Yeah. So in this session, you are going to see that how to create a multiple configuration files and how to separate the um, single XML configuration file into multiple files, and also how to keep all global elements into the one of the global .xml file. So this is what we are going to do that. Now what I'm trying to do that, first of all, I want to keep all these global elements from the flights API to the global .xml configuration. So how can I do that? So let me open the configuration XML for both of that. Okay. Now you just hold this and try to drag it. Comes two boxes like this. So you can see that side by side. Let me maximize it. It is not just keep it down. Okay. Now just have a look and what are the things you want to move it from flights API XML to the global .xml. Okay, that is what you need to understand basically. So if you see that what are the configuration, these are the configurations. Let's one of the, we'll move one by one. Control X, Control V. Okay, and what is the one? DV. And I want to move this web service more and this one also. Just click Control X and then you are cutting from cutting the whatever the connectors you want to move it from Flash API to the global.xml. Just keep it Control S in both the places. So now you can see that there is no error. Here it is showing that you need to just close it and open it. It will not show that. Basically, why it is showing that if you just keep it, you can understand what is the reason. Name must be unique, right? So what is saying? Name must be unique because you are keeping in the single project and since you are copy pasting from here to here, it is thinking that still Flights API still has that same connector names. Okay, if you just close and open, you can see that there will not be any issue. Now you can go to the global element. So we could able to move all connectors from Flights API to global.xml configuration. Right now there is no error. Got it? So what else are there here? What else we can move it? I think that is the thing you need to move it. Okay, that is enough. Now one thing is done, moving some of the components from one XML to another component. So all global connectors will be on top of your flow. On top of say this is the flow starting. Okay, before that flow starting, your connectors, global connectors will be there. I think this also you can do it. 1 second. Okay, we can also, I think we can cut this one also. If it is not, we'll get back same changes, no issue. We'll try this also. And control is here. Okay, let's go. Right, I just close and open it again, global.xml, and go to the global elements. You can see that router also. This is the flights API config router. Okay, we moved from there to here. So you understand what we did here? Yeah. Now here you will not see that there is no global elements. So we are keeping inside the single flight. We are not keeping. Let's say here we are using only one XML configuration file, but in our real time we may use a 10 XML configuration file for each and every operations or different type of customers when you are interacting, right? So whatever the global connectors which you used to connecting database, connecting end systems, whatever it is. So you just keep all global elements inside one of the configuration file. So here we are calling it as a global.xml. So inside that we are keeping that. Okay. So global connectors always create on top of your flows. Okay. Generally it creates on top of the flow. So this is the flow start, right? From here at the flow main flow start. On top of the flow, all connectors will get created. So what we did, we just moved from flights API to the global.xml. Okay, this is how you can move it from one XML to the another XML. Any code you can move it like this. Okay, now what I will do, I will create one more XML configuration, and I will move some of the code from my flights API to the another one. Okay, let's see how it will be. So go to new and select the mule configuration file, and you can say API main. Okay, so this is the API main flow. Okay, so in this I want to move some of the code. So you need to identify what is that code you want to move it first of all. Let's jump into the configuration XML, and if you see here, just in this configuration there is an end tag for the mule. Okay, just press enter. So whatever the code you are moving, it should be under mule tag. This is the opening tag and this is the closing tag. So whatever the code you are keeping, it should be under this one. If you are keeping outside of that, it will not recognize. Okay, now what we are trying, we want to move this flights API and flight console. These are the main flow, right? So just cut this and paste it here. Okay, and also what else I can move it? I want to move it whatever the default exceptions it has for the API kit router. So for API kit router, what is that? I think from here, right? Just come down and select till that API kit mapping exception strategy. Control X, Control V. Yes. Okay. Now you just close the API main file and open it again. You will not see any error. Okay. So in API main file, you can see that okay, only main file related. So this is the main flow, which accepts all your flight related information. From here, it will route it to the another configuration file. That is called the flights API, right? So in this flow, you can see that whatever the flows you required. Okay. I think we also made some changes to handle the exceptions, right? Let's do it back, those changes to make it working properly. So what are the changes in DB? We did one change, that is flights. To put kept flights, make it flights. And also in another flow, what is that? Delta flow, we did one error. So here we forward slash, like just keep it payload to display inside the console. Okay, logger, you know how to use that. This is for logging the data, and whatever the response coming from the web service, if you want to see that inside the console, you can use logger, and you can set a hash payload. Payload is the main message which flows through your message, flow. I think we also did some change in United Airlines also. This, what is that change we did? It's a flights only, right? Have we done any changes? I think it's not. Okay, let's keep it like this. It looks we haven't done any change in the United Airlines. Okay, now let's run it and see whether it is working properly or not. After we separated into multiple configuration files, you need to test it and see that whether it is working properly or not, right? So I just ran my flow. So you can see the console is doing some, just giving the feedback of your deployment of your application. Now go to the browser and open your, so pass some request and see that. We'll select, we'll keep it empty because I wanted to see that all the flows are working proper or not. So you can keep this one also empty. This, have we handled this one? I mean, I think we don't have any method like that, but let's see. Keeping this and select, we immediately select a destination, I think. Yeah, now you can see the response back, right? And see that whether it is invoking all the flows or not. American Airlines, Delta, MC United. Yeah, United also there. Okay, so you could able to invoke all the flows, right? It is working. Basically, you need to pass the destination. If you are passing without destination, what is your expectation? It has to get all the airlines. You haven't implemented that scenario, since you need to check that whether that if nothing is coming as a destination, you need to set it as a SFO. Okay, so that we haven't implemented. You can do that also here. When you are setting the destination, you can set it default SFO. Okay, so here you are checking the getting the destination, right? Inside that you can write some condition like message inbound properties HTTP query parameter destination is equal to empty, then set it like let me show you that how it is. This is equal to what is that? Question mark. This to write if else condition inside the I mean inside your MEL expression, you can use the question mark. It will say that like if condition. So if this is empty, set SFO, right, as a default. Set SFO, okay, comma, sorry, colon, you need to use it. If it is not SFO, I mean if it is not empty, okay, so you no need to do that, right? So in that case, so you have to take the whatever it is coming from the input. So how can you take that one? So it's like you need to copy paste the same thing. Control C, Control V, correct? So this is like if else condition we are making here. So here we are setting that if the destination from the input from the query parameter, if you're not passing anything, you're saying that set it as a default SFO and get the data from the backend system. If you are getting something from the front-end system, then take it as the same value and then pass it. That is what we are trying. Okay, let's see whether it works properly or not. So basically we are trying that even if you are passing the destination as empty, it should work. That is what we are trying. Previous week we did not handle that such kind of scenario. Getting 400 error. Let's see what is the error inside the console. So let's go to up and you can see the proper exact error. Okay, so type mismatch for the value selector operator. What is this? Order dot price. This is correct only, right? Let's run and see that in debug mode so that we can identify whether it is failing here or transformation. Okay, there is a debugger already there. Now we jump into the mule design mode and then run it in debug mode. Click on it. Okay. Now you go to your browser and test it again. Now you can see that whether the destination variable got created or not, right? So there is no variable created here. So that's what it is going again. Something wrong. Okay. Because it is expecting destination. If you see that this is expecting destination, right? So that is what here failing. So we need to pass at least some dummy value or default value. So that is what we are trying. This flow should not fail. So that you need to pass some value as a destination. So let's go to your mule expression and see if something is wrong in that. Where is that? Here. So what we are checking here, it is basically an if else condition we are writing here, right? So if the value is empty, then we are trying to pass it as. So I think instead of this, we'll use empty keyword. Okay, the destination equal to empty question mark SFO. It should be, I think, let's keep it in single quote. Yep. Otherwise, this value. Okay, let's try. Okay, next, and now you can see that, right? You can see some value. Now you will not see any error. So the basically, what is the mistake here? It should be, you can keep it empty and value should be in a single quotes. Okay, that is the mistake we identified. So this is the mule expression. It's like writing a if else condition. So basically, you're checking that whether the destination is equal to empty. Question mark means if this is true, if this condition is true, the first value will set. If the condition is false, the second value will set. Okay, so this is the value one and this is the value two. These are the two values, value one, value two. So value one will take when the condition true. Before the question mark, this is the condition. If the condition true, it sets the first value. If the condition false, it sets the second value. Okay, now you can see that so United Airlines got failed previous because we did not pass any destination. Now it went through. That's it. Now you can see proper response back. So what we did, even we are passing destination as empty, we are able to get some value. We are setting that some default value. Okay, this is what our flow is doing. Since our flow is running successfully, there is no issue. Now, what is our next step? Let me terminate this one instance. Go to mule design mode. Now, as I said, my next step will be I want to keep all my global elements. Go to, where is that your global element? It is in global.xml, right? So if you see global elements, if you click on any connector configuration, so everything is hard coded. Even SQL configuration also hard coded, and everything is hard coded, right? So now I don't want to hard code like this. I want to keep it in some property file, and I want to read it from there. Correct? So how can I do that? Let's go to configuration XML. This is one of the important thing which you need to understand, because in real time you must do this thing when you're implementing any flow. Okay, so open your app.properties file. As let's close this too. You can keep it side by side. Yep. Okay, now let's change one by one. What is the first one? HTTP listener config, right? So in that, what we can change? HTTP port, right? HTTP dot evo port is equal to, sorry, HTTP host is equal to, so you just take from here and copy paste there, control X, control V, and here copy this one, don't cut. Okay, put the dollar symbol and then open close braces. Inside that, paste this one. Okay, so this is the way. So you are setting http.host as 0.0.0, and then inside the configuration XML, you are reading from the properties file. So to read the properties file, this is the way you need to represent. Okay, dollar symbol, open and close curly braces. Inside that, you need to keep it the property. Okay, now HTTP dot port, so 8081, right? So let's remove this dollar. If you have comfort, you can directly write it, no issue. HTTP dot port. Okay, what else we can change? I think that is the configurations we basically pass for the HTTP listener. Next, let's come to the SQL configuration. So inside the SQL configuration, what are the things we can do it? So host. So db dot host. You can give it any name. Okay, I'm giving here db dot host. You can simply give SQL host, and there is no. I mean, this is the way of representation we do that. It's not necessary to keep dot also. Okay. This is the best practice, so which always do. Control X, Control V, and here dollar open and close db dot host. Okay, this you cut here db dot port, so equal to any other things. We can change, we can use this username password also, right? db dot username, db dot password. Okay, when you're doing this change, be careful. If you're doing little mistake also, it will not work, right? It should be dollar. db dot pwd, right? And database name also we can change it, right? We can keep it in properties file. db dot database is equal to control X, control V. Okay, and what else we can give it? Any other in the SQL configuration? I think that's it, right? Yeah. Now let's go to the web service consumer. So inside the web service consumer, if you see the service address is there, right? In that service address, so this is which web service it is. Is it? It's Delta, right? So you can keep it delta dot host is equal to, what is the host here? This is the host. Control X, control V. Here it is dollar. And what else? Next it is a path, right? Delta dot path equal to this one, and here it is not required, right? Remove here and read it from the properties file. Okay. Okay. Now what else we can change? HTTP request config, it is there, and here we can change it, right? So what is this? It is United. So let's use the same name. That will give clear understanding. United dot host. This is the one, right? Yeah. Control X, control V. Here it should be okay. Now any other thing, you can keep it a port also if you want it. United dot port is equal to 80. So whatever the configurations you feel that it gets changed from dev to QA to production. So all those configurations should be you should keep in proper app properties file. Okay. And what else can be changed? There is a chance of changing the base path also, right? Mostly it will not change, but still we will keep that. Should be dollar. Can you repeat port? What is that? What is your question? Can you ask me? Oh, okay, got it. United. Yeah, you can repeat it. I mean, if you are consuming some other service, so definitely they might have same port number. There is no issue. But when you are using this configure update properties, so give it as a different name. That's it. Okay. What else we can change? Let's see. Some error is there. What it is saying? Here it is. What is the mistake in this? United dot host. Okay. United dot port. Okay. So base path it is not reading, right? What we do, we'll keep here the slash and we'll remove here. I think it's not. Oh, it looks something missing, right? It is double quote.
Like I'm not about the bash path. Why you are? I'm not getting about the bash.
I didn't get.
Can you can you repeat this thing regarding for the bash path
Base
for
path.
the
Definitely.
yeah?
In development, my base path is, I mean, the web service which they have given. The base path is like this: essential slash united slash flights. Okay. In that QA environment, your base path might be different, like essential slash QA united slash flights. Okay. In dev, it is like dev united slash flights. In prod, it might be prod united slash flights. Right. So in that case, what you have to do, you have to go to your uh, connector. I mean, if you want, when you are moving from dev to QA to production, so what you have to do, this configuration, you need to change it, right? So here you need to change the base path also in that case. Am I right? So that will be difficult. Instead, you need to go into the code and editing the global element again, deploying. So that will be a difficult part. So whatever you feel that configurations will get changed from dev to QA to production. Okay, so you need to keep that configurations into the app.properties file. So in this case, you no need to deploy your application again. You can directly go to your app.properties. You can simply edit here. Instead of here, you can keep it dev or you can keep it to QA. So simply you can change it here. So that way, this will automatically get reflect in your flow. Any doubt?
No.
No. I mean, can I take it no is you understand or you didn't understand?
No, not like that. Just I have to check it out once. I have to check it out. So I'm a little bit confused on that. Okay, no problem. I'll check it out.
It will get clear. Once we deploy the application, it will get clear. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Because what happens, let's say you are connecting some some flight. You can take this example, this flights example, right? So they will not keep the same endpoint for dev, QA, production. Okay, it will be difficult if you are keeping the same endpoint. Okay, same URL. What will happen? If some developer is testing on the dev system, the request go to the production as well, right? So it should be definitely different from QA and production. So they keep it as different. Even we also do like that only. If you are exposing any REST service or web service, it, it should be some either base path or host. It should be host definitely different. You can see that this host definitely different. Base path it will not change mostly, but still if they want to keep it as a separate for understanding, if they are changing some naming here, then you can keep it inside the app.properties file. That is what I'm saying. But most of the things will change is host and port and username password. These are the things will get changed when you are moving from one environment to another environment. Okay. Now let's see. Let's run your flow and see whether it is working after doing these changes. My flow is working or not. You need to test it once, right? So this is one of the common question when you are attempting interviews. They will ask how you are maintaining your configuration. So when you are moving your application from one environment to another environment, so you should say like that. We are using app.properties file. Inside that we are keeping all the configurations, and we are not hard coding anywhere inside our connectors. So all the configuration details for the connectors we are keeping in the app.properties files and reading from there. So you should say like that. Okay, now it is deployed. Now you go back here and test it one more time, your application, to see that whether it is working or not. Now go to your get flow and click on the get. Okay, cool. Now it is working properly. Okay, so what is the meaning here? it could able to read the data from the app.properties file, right? After we did changes also, still it could able to read the data from the app.properties file. Even if you want to change it here also something, you can change it. I mean, if you feel something you want to change here, there's nothing here, but still just have a look that if there is anything we can keep it as inside the properties file. It looks nothing, right? We don't need to change anything inside the flight API. So now you understand, right, how to keep it in app.properties file and how to reference that inside the your flow. So the way of representation, it should be dollar open and close curly braces. Inside that, whatever the app.properties value you are keeping, it's like a key value pair, the key and the value, key value. Okay, so you need to load the key. So when you are giving the key here, it will automatically load the value from the app.properties file. Okay, so in this case, what is the key here? http.host. So your mule automatically recognize that. It will go to your app.properties file. It will check that, and it will reload the value from this as a 0.0.0. So like that, the remaining places also like the same. Okay, got it? Now, what is our next step? As I said, our next step is to deploy the application to the Cloud Hub. So how can we deploy the application on a Cloud Hub? Okay, so let's go to your Anypoint platform. Okay, just go and log in with your account. We had already created this Anypoint account in our previous class. I have explained that how to create the Anypoint account. Okay, so everyone must have all this Anypoint platform account. So just go to there and log in your account. So now what you are doing, your development part is done. Now you want to deploy application on a specific server. Either it could be a standalone server which running on your local system, or any other server somewhere, okay, on premises, or else it can be a Cloud Hub server. So we are not doing here local deployment. So what we are trying to deploy the application on the Cloud Hub server. Okay, I will we will see that in our next class how to deploy in MMC console also. Okay, for now what we are looking, we are trying to deploy the application on the Cloud Hub. What happened? Failed to load authorization. No, it's already logged in. Okay, so it will ask you, I mean, what is the default server you need to deploy application. If you go to the runtime manager, Anypoint platform runtime manager, you can see that open your profile to set the default environment. Okay, your screen will display like this initially. Okay, so you need to select this one and you need to set the default environment where you want to deploy your applications. So basically for our trial version, it will show it as a production. Okay, so you can select the same thing. No issue. This is the trial version which we are using. Okay, so once you set this, it's got automatically loaded, saved. Now what do you need to do? You need to go to here and go to your runtime manager. Okay, so this is your server. Okay, this is your server, and here you need to deploy your applications after you done your development. So how to do the deployment? So there are two ways. Once either you can export this whole application. Okay, you can go here, you can do here export, right? Export general, not general, go to Mule, Anypoint Studio project to Mule deployable archive. Select this one, click next. Okay, and go to some place. Let me go to here. Okay, let's keep it here in this place in my folder. Okay, now just give it some name. Clients API and save it. Okay, this is the way you can export your complete package to deploy that. Okay, where is that? It should be. Yep, you can see here, Lights API. This is your RAR file. Okay, so when you are giving to someone, you need to give this one. If they are going to deploy on some other server, so you need to make it as a zip file and give it to them. Okay, and now how to deploy the same RAR on Cloud Hub? So now you can see that deploy application. Click on the deploy application, and if you see here, you can give some name here, and there are some options here. It is saying deploy target, where you are going to deploy here. So since it is a cloud hub, we are going to do the deployment. Select the cloud hub, okay, and you can give the application file. So you can choose here. If you click on the choose file, it will ask you where is your application, right? So our application inside my folder, so I can go there and I can select it from there. Okay, so like that you can select it and you can deploy the application. Okay, let me do this one, and we'll keep it some other name for the next one. This Flights API. Okay, now you can see that deploy application. Okay, now you can also see here runtime properties. Okay, inside. Sorry. So once you deploy application, here there is there are no properties, right? So whatever the property file which you can, all the properties should be displayed here. Now let's deploy the application. So flights was uploaded successfully and it is deploying. So you can see that it deploying. So before this gets deployed, let's see the another way also. So what is the second way? So from the Anypoint Studio, directly you can deploy it to the Cloud Hub. You can right click on the application. So first way what we did, we exported the we exported as a zip file, and we went to the Cloud Hub, and from there we imported the zip file. That is the first way of deployment we have done. And what is the second way of deployment? You can go to the application in Anypoint Studio and go to Anypoint platform. Okay, and you can see that deploy to cloud, deploy to Mule Management Console. So since you are doing deploy to cloud, select the deploy to cloud. Now there will be a screen will open for you, and it will ask you for your Cloud Hub account details to deploy the application. Okay, yeah, this will take few minutes. It will deploy the application. You can watch your logger, go to your log, and you can see that how the application is deploying. Okay, so meanwhile we are doing this step, right, deploying to the Cloud Hub from the Anypoint Studio. Now you can see that there is already one application which is running in the Cloud Hub Manager. So you can deploy on the same application. If the application is already exist, you can deploy on top of that, right? Let's wait for deploy till that. Let it deploy. So meanwhile, you can ask me if any questions, or if you're not understanding this concept, you can ask me now so that we can get clear. You can see here some dashboard also. It will be there. You can see it, and You can see how your application is running after it is deployed, how much CPU utilization it is taking. Okay, you can identify here. You can select last hour, last 24 hours, or last week. Just you can filter based on that. And also some insight you can see here based on the ID and process time, how much processing time it is taken for each transaction level, and the transaction details also you can see it. And the side logger, it will give the feedback like how your console logger we have seen so far in Anypoint Studio. The same way it will give you some feedback of your deployment application. And also you can see some application data. You can set it as key value pairs, and some queues also there. Currently there is no queues available here, but you can add some persistence queues, and you can do it. And also you can use a scheduled runtime if you want to keep some jobs, you can keep it here. And there are settings also you can see. So inside the settings you can see that your application name, and if you want to download it, you can download it in the same application. Again, you can import into the your application. Okay, reverse way. And you can see the runtime version where it is running. It is 8.3.8.3, the latest version. And how many worker size you can increase this worker size. But currently 1 week or we are using. And number of workers also you can see that you cannot change this one, because as a trial version, only one worker will be allowed to run your application. Okay, even you cannot run multiple application as a trial version. Only one application you can make it as a running, so it is up and running, right? Now let's see how to test this application. Okay, simple way, it's very simple. How the way you tested your application, just click on this one once, and you can see this domain, right? So instead of localhost 8081, replace with that with this one. Okay, so the same application, you just replace the domain, you need to replace it. That's it. Now I can able to load this one. Now you guys also can try the same URL and let me know whether you are able to access or not. Let me ping this URL. All of you try to open from your end. It should be able to open. Are you able to open? Let me know. That's great, right? So I developed the application, but I deployed on the Cloud Hub, so it is available to everyone. Now it is available to everyone. Everyone can test it and everyone can use it, right? But if I deploy the application on my local server or some other server, you cannot able to access it. Okay, that is the difference. The Cloud Hub means you are keeping in your application, deploying application inside cloud, so that can be accessed by anywhere. Okay, now you can also do the test. Now onwards you can also do the test. Okay, you can just go to this slide slow and click on the get. You can see some response back. Okay, and if I go to my logger, I can see that see. Okay, I can see my logger. Okay, now let's go to your Anypoint Studio. As I said, how to deploy the application from Anypoint Studio. That we will see one more time. how to deploy application directly from the Anypoint Studio to the Cloud Hub. Go to Anypoint platform, deploy to cloud. In this step, we are not exporting a zip file and we are not importing into the Cloud Hub. We are directly deploying from the Anypoint Studio. Okay. Now you can see here what are the existing applications already there inside the runtime manager. Okay. Basically, it will ask you username password for you because I already configured my Anypoint Studio with uh, my credentials, so it directly opened this screen. But for you, it will definitely ask you username, Cloud Hub username password. So there you need to use your Anypoint Studio, Anypoint platform username password. Then you could able to see the screen. Okay. Now I want to deploy the application on the same because I am deploying the same application. Let's say I did some modification. Now I am doing the deployment. Okay. Just think that I did some modifications and I'm deploying. You can also see that the properties, how it's got loaded here from the app.properties file to here, right? Now you just click on the deploy. If you go to your browser, it will start do the deployment again. Yeah, you see that updating, right? It is saying that updating. So you did some changes and you're deploying from your Anypoint platform and your application will get update. So if you click here, you can see the domain name basically. This is the domain name, okay? And the path you know already. And if you click here, you can see the zip file which you can easily download it. Okay, this screen you cannot open because this is with my credentials, so you need credentials for this screen. Only you can access my API. That's it. You can only access my API which I hosted on my Cloud Hub. Okay. Now if you see that the manage application, so you can see complete dashboard, the different type of settings and all, and you can see the properties here. And at any point of time, you can change these values. You can change any value. Okay, let's say you are connecting dev system database. Tomorrow you want to connect it to some other, your database configurations got changed. So you can simply change it here. You no need to go to Anypoint Studio, no need to click on your connector and change it. You can simply change it here, you can save it, that's it. It will get updated. Or if your database username password change, you can simply change it here. So anything whatever you represented inside the properties file, it can be easily changed and easily deployed. Your application is updating. You may see some of the warnings, but don't bother about it. If it is warning, you can forget it. But if it is error, you need to look in. That's it. Okay, your application has started successfully. It will show the green symbol. So completely done. Yeah, it changed to started mode. Green symbol, you can see that, right? Now just refresh it, you can see that the page gets loaded. That's it. Now you can see that it is working properly, right? Even you can select some other airlines and you can see that a particular airline. So only United related flights information you can see that. Also you can set something Delta also you can see that. Okay. Test your American flow. Okay. You can go to your logger. You can see that if anything you have captured inside the logger, you can see that message also. If you want to see that what is the response coming from that web service and all, you can keep your logger and you can see here. Okay. Okay. That's it guys for today class, and we will see that in our next class more on that. Okay. And